Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to more Fortnite news. Of course, breaking down this past week in the Secret Skirmish. 2 events did go on. $100,000 for the duos event, $400,000 for the solo event, and it was pretty crazy. Now, I'm going to say, first off, there were 3 different things that Secret Skirmish did that can't really prepare us too much. We can't take away too much for this for, of course, our next weekly Skirmish announcement, which I cannot wait for. If you guys want to stay tuned on this channel, we'll break it down week by week when the Skirmish does return, compare these players, compare their stats. It's a much easier job once we have tournaments every single week as compared to every month or two, and of course different patch notes. First of which, of course, patch 7.4 going live right before the Secret Skirmish did not mean too big of changes, right? A lot of these pro players, they play pop-up, and that was a format that's now been added to every single playlist out there, so not too big of a meta change there. But of course, Secret Skirmish did do a few things differently. I would say the duos event was very entertaining, and in my opinion, actually the more entertaining part of this, although for duos, it was completely randomized. So, of course, previous teammates that were going to this event actually were scrambled up, and while some teammates came out better than others, it didn't really affect things too bad out there, and in fact, it actually hurt a few duos, but that was one thing they did. They randomized all teammates, so liquid players, phase players, ghost players, everyone of the like, and of course our randoms were kind of benefited in this because they got randomized with a completely random partner, so that really threw things off, especially because a lot of these pro players have not played with some of these guys out there. Now, yes, they do their scrims, so on and so forth, and the very last thing they did change was actually the threshold damage, that being of the storm. So early to mid game, if players were aggressive, they actually dealt out damage to opponents. They got a threshold to the storm, which means they could go in the storm early to mid game rotations and not take damage. So kind of a small way to reward aggressive players. It didn't impact too much because especially late game that threshold is turned off, but it definitely impacted a little bit here and there, and it was good to see aggressive players finally rewarded. So I hope you guys all enjoy. Let's break down the duos or break down the solos. Let's hop right into it. The duos event actually was pretty insane, and in fact every teammate or team that came away with 10 plus kills or a victory royale actually came in top 10 placements overall, which goes to show you that victory royales were kind of far and few between. Only I think 1 or 2 teams actually coming away with more than one of those, that being 10 plus kills or a victory royale, and if you did, you were probably in the top 5 placements right away. Match number 1, it was actually Tfue and Demo, 11 kills plus a victory royale. If you guys did watch, kind of brought out the joke as well, Tfue, it was not him with the majority kills, it was actually Demo with 9 kills in that single match, and of course victory royale, they come off to a jumping lead. Then in match number 2, right after Demo and Tfue dominate, they think they're going to snowball that big bonus, because when you get 9 plus kills, big bonus is activated. Every kill after that is actually 1 point. It was then right back after that, guys, Bizzle and his teammate Triggy, they dropped 10 limbs in match number 2. They take the victory. In match 3, it was all about Cease, his late game in the storm plays, out of the storm, in the storm. It was absolutely insane how he clutched that victory. Match number 4 was crazy. We saw a lot of things out there. It was Nick Mercs and Harmful dropping 10 limbs. We also had Thwifo and J-Truth coming in with 10 plus limbs, and I think the victory in that match as well. We also had Cloaksy hitting insane plane-to-plane shots. It was back and forth, but at the end of the day, it was Saf and Ronaldo, the late game comebacks, guys, from these, and again, topping it off with kind of undeniable there, and Saf having a heck of a weekend himself. They take first place, followed closely by, of course, many of the names we did list. A lot of these teammates and partners actually coming away with 10 plus limbs or victory royales is what placed them in the top 5 or the top 10. And then we go to the solo event, which is pretty hectic. And again, I want to kind of preface what I said before. We can't take too much away from this, although there were many of the top players inside the top 10, borderline the top 15. Once we got top 20 and outwards, it was a lot of no names as well as pro player names with just 0 points. So whether it's kind of reinforcing the fact this is an RNG battle royale game, it's just another thing to say this event was absolutely stacked. And like I said before, guys, Saf having a heck of a weekend, but his teammate Bizzle having the best weekend of anyone, guys. He takes the solo event, the $400,000 part of this tournament, in insane fashion. He does so with back-to-back wins as well in his pocket, but the Ghost guys were not done there. Saf again had a hectic run himself, guys. He actually placing 2nd. So the Ghost guys continue their reign of dominance. I believe Ghoul also cracked the top 15 as well. 3 guys inside the top 15. Bizzle coming away with 2 top 5 placements. Saf 2 top 5 placements, and you cannot argue against that. Both of them having victories this weekend, but still Tfue very consistent as well. We saw some other great players out there. Tom also in there. Vivid placing 3rd. It was great to see players up there and doing well and having some consistency and some great games on top of that. And it was actually Kazooie, though, that was probably the biggest surprise of anyone, coming out of nowhere with some great flicks, including the one I'll show you guys on screen. And again, sorry for the quality. Twitch clips are actually very hard to pull. Paddock showing up as well, another top placement for that guy. Around the top 20-ish placements is great for a guy like Paddock. I'll give you guys some other information out there. You know, NRG Zate right outside the top 15, and once you go past that outside the top 20, a lot of players out there with 0 points, who showed up in the duos day, not so much solo-wise. And again, I'm not really too big of a fan of solos in the first place. Many of the skirmish events we're going to see are going to be duos, so I don't expect to take too much away from this, but a lot of well-recognizable names. I got a list for you guys. I'll pop it up right now as well. I mean, guys like Ruski, Morgoss, Chap, Nicky Merckx, Monster, Nate Hill, Snood, Marksman, Demo, Cloaksy, Aiden, and many more. Yeah, that list was crazy, right? I'm not sure that goes to show you how unlucky those guys maybe got, more so how stacked this event really was. You know, Secret Skirmish out of nowhere, 500K prize pool may does not sound like a lot of money anymore because we're so used to the $1 million finals of skirmishes. Still a huge tournament out there and still a very huge lineup. I'm not going to take too much away from this, but congrats to all the guys out there. The winners of this weekend have to be Bizzle and Saf. Those guys coming off insane victories. Saf a first and a second, Bizzle a first and a fourth. You cannot complain about that. A lot of players out there though not showing up today. I'm sure they will sometime soon, but I hope you guys all enjoy the breakdown of the Secret Skirmish. Not too much else to show you guys, and I hope we break it down the next tournament as well, or our next skirmish when it is announced. We'll be back here with weekly announcements. Better to track those guys, compare those guys, and on a weekly basis definitely can see who the better players truly are, but a lot of players still in the running for the best player currently in Fortnite. As always, I hope you guys all enjoy it. My name is Jake. I'll see you guys back here next time, and until then, see you then.